Good morning, everyone. Soft raining weather here in Durban. It's been raining for days, but soft drizzle. So it's very good for everything to just start growing again. All the few pot plants that I did bring with me, I can see they're all getting life again and new growth, and it's so awesome to see. It's little things like that that brings great joy to me, just seeing life again and regrowth, because it's symbols of my own regrowth after the pruning process and stuff. So yes, let's just do a quick check-in and we'll start with Barbara.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I've had a good week, thanks. Well, took me 6.5 hours of standing in the queue to get my car license. But that was the low light of the week.
Wow.
At Cliff, I'm surprised you didn't see me. I was there the whole day.
You should have said, bring me some coffee.
I should have actually. Anyway, it was so cold, and I think that's why I've got a bit of flu at the moment. But other than that, it's been a good week. Yeah, thanks.
Excellent. Welcome. Vanessa.
Hi. Yeah, I've had quite a week. I realized, well, the timelines for my move to Portugal changed. So I'll probably be leaving at the end of November instead of January.
Sure.
So yes, I've had a few sleepless nights because I've just realized that I'm going on holiday for 2 weeks, and I still have to sort out everything. So I need the meditation today. I get myself so worked up. I say I'm channeling my mother just to get things done. So I need to just calm down today. Yes, take deep breaths. But it's a good week. At least I'm busy.
Yes, well, it's exciting when a move is earlier, but it's also daunting and challenging. But it's, yeah.
Yes, it looks like the house isn't going to be sold. So I'm not going to have to pack up everything. So we're just going to leave it as it is and come back in March and worry about it then.
Okay.
Yes, kicking the can down the road.
Awesome. Okay, welcome. Tammy.
I've also got a bit of flu. I think it was the change of weather and just the rain and things. So I'm feeling a bit snotty today. My week's been okay. Again, my heart is not at work. It's always, these ideas going through my head and what I can do at home. So it's been a bit challenging again for me, and things work too slowly for an Aries. I always want to be like 5 steps ahead and things aren't happening. But I have to be patient, I know. It's quite hard.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you could join us today again. So welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Nikki.
Well, first let me say, Vanessa, I'm so jealous. Can you please put me in your suitcase? I want to live in Europe.
I'm sorry, so far I've got about 4 friends in my suitcase.
I'm only small. I'm so small. I'll fit. You don't even know.
If there's any space, I'll let you know.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we've had a bit of a week because Dave's first paycheck with his supposed job, and it all fell through. So we thought he had work, and he doesn't. So now it's a real panic because now the payment on the bikes are finished. Now there's no income coming from his side. So that's been a bit scary, and I don't know how I'm trying so hard to just be calm and leave it to the universe and all that, but that's not easy. That is very challenging. So that's where I am this week. Very, very stressed and trying not to be stressed. Trying to have faith.
Yeah, that is where faith gets tested to the hilt.
It's been tested for the last few years. How much more testing do we need?
Until the battery's fully charged.
But full battery doesn't pay the bills. Oh dear.
Do some art classes. Come on, we'll be there.
Well, if I had space to do that, at the moment my house is still a building site again, and it's probably going to take a good month before it's finished. So I will definitely do that. Huh?
There's Zoom art classes, and you just sit
I don't know if it's that fun. I could try.
Try, because then everybody's in their own space, and you
try that.
You have your phone or something on a tripod or something, and you zoom in and you bring close and you take that and you show techniques. You can actually be very effective.
Okay, I'll take that under advisement.
Thank you. Okay, well, sorry to hear about the challenges that you're currently facing. I know the feeling. So
no, I know you do. I know you do. I know you do.
Okay, so but that you showed up and that you're part of this and that you're willing to shift your vibration and shift it within you. Well done.
Thank you.
You can't just freak out and have a pity party all by yourself, and that's not necessarily going to help the situation either. So good. Yes, Barbara.
You might lose me. My internet is on and off at the moment. So
okay.
I will hang in as long as I can. But if I disappear, you know what it is.
Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Anita.
Hi, morning all. I also have a bit of an unstable internet, so I think the video off really works. Yes, Vanessa, we all love to be on that holiday. And Nikki, it's so good, despite your challenges, you really still have a smile and you've got such positivity, energy around yourself. So really inspirational to see that. Yes. I've had a really good week, an okay week, especially after my restful weekend. So let's see what this week meditation unpacks. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. Thank you. Thanks for those messages. Dearest Maria.
I've also had a good week in relative terms. So I've found the cards from last week. The themes continued quite significantly to stay top of mind and see examples. So there was definitely prompting that's continued all week on those. So I particularly the second one and third one, I think just the sort of power
Standing to your ground.
And like that tower, the sort of deconstructing of things. I continue to be mindful of those things and really again found myself so grateful for the Sunday group and what we're learning and discovering together, and it just helps keep a focus in the week on specific issues that Spirit has brought up. So I'm particularly grateful. So good to be back.
Awesome to hear that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, glad that you are back. Your presence is surely missed when you are not here, so I'm glad. And let's hear from Beryl.
And it's just absolutely wonderful to be able to join with everybody instead of sitting by yourself having a pity party, as Fiona would say to me. So I'm just so grateful to be with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for joining. And my week has been quiet, but I've done some training work. I solved a problem. I had also Wi-Fi problems, and then I realized it's sorted out by me putting the Wi-Fi or the cable of the router inside my laptop. So I've got now the direct feed and connection in my laptop. And since I've done that, I have no more Wi-Fi problems. My laptop can just be where it is, but luckily it's in the right place. So luckily the cable is to here, which I'm grateful for, because I was stressing about it. But last week in Sunday's meditation, I told Beryl, it's like I got that I needed to surrender that and take back the responsibility of my own Wi-Fi, because this is a landlord's Wi-Fi, and that there is no problem and everything will work out. And as I did, I felt such a relief for not feeling that something is beyond my control or reach, or it's like, okay, it will be resolved. Spirit is going to show me how it's going to be resolved. And on Monday, I just got the picture, but put it into the laptop. Don't just try, because I've got a cell phone tower on the outside and it interferes with the signal. So somehow that's why my Wi-Fi has been cutting out on the Zoom sessions. The signals gets shambled. Yeah. Scrambled. And since I've got now the direct link, it's like, oh, wonderful. The first day it was like Christmas, having Wi-Fi or internet for the whole day and uninterrupted and not having to restart stuff. And so, yeah, so I could refresh myself up on some marketing material, and Maria and myself, and even Sylvia has been discussing in perhaps getting a group together of business people, small business people, where we inspire one another or talk about different stuff where we all have skill sets. It's like when I listened to the marketing course, they went through all the different things that you have to focus on. And as a business owner, you sometimes forget about the basics, because you just do what you do well, and then you just try and do that, and you drop the ball on certain things. So I've gotten to see where I'm dropping the ball, where I've been missing the ball totally, and what I've got, what I actually mastered and got right. So I put some naughty badges on, okay, at least one thing I got right. And that was my positioning in the market. It's like, okay, I know I positioned myself right. I know what I put out is what I want to put out. So yeah, but we were talking about perhaps starting something where we just all help one another with our skills and abilities. So because doing business on your own, any type of anything, it's not for the faint-hearted. You have to be a jack of all trades and a master of them. You can't drop certain things. You have to see things through and follow through on certain things. And yeah, so we're considering and putting out that and see, and it's for free. It's just to help all of us to with ideas, with what works, what doesn't work, where to go for different things. So anybody is ever interested, just let us know, and we'll do little Zoom conferences about that. Okay, so talk about the challenge and resolve it. And usually we all have more or less similar challenges, and if we are there for one another, we can definitely make it work, because teamwork makes the dream work. And if you're a single person working by yourself, it sometimes can be overwhelming. Okay, so yeah, I've had a client to speak, which was good. Next week there's a little bit more clients booked, so this weather, not a lot of people seem to want to come out for healings, and I accept that. And luckily, I had some online sessions, so that was good. But yeah, it's all good. I look forward to the next few weekends, and I'm very grateful to be with all of you today. Alrighty, so I wasn't aware of all the challenges that is out there currently within certain of your lives. So the cards is just so fitting. I thought it just applied to Beryl, but it applies to all of us. She came, all weepy and very, very sad, and very emotional. And it is sometimes the stories that we tell ourselves and what we believe, and that's what I liked about last week's meditation. I know some of you have slept through it, but I used it as an opportunity just to shift it again, because I've realized the importance of taking responsibility for something. Because as soon as you take responsibility, Spirit helps you. It's if you say, okay, so what can I do about it? Spirit shows you what you can do about it. But while it's in somebody else's hand, or you made it somebody else's responsibility, it's difficult to find solutions for them, because you find solutions for yourself. And what you can do in your current circumstances with what you have to be able to eat tonight, to pay that bill tomorrow, to do that. It's like, where they say, where there's a will, there's a way. And sometimes we have to step up and step forward and say, okay, so what can I do? How can I participate? What can I do? And we're always shown, Spirit always shows us. If we sit still enough and we're not in fear and we don't profess that doom and gloom on ourselves, then answers come. I've sat in very difficult situations and had no clue how things are going to do. But as soon as the pictures come and the guidance come, I just follow through to the T. And I've been able to manage to do things. And Spirit pulls strings on other sides that I never knew, and miracles has happened. Okay? Friends would book a few sessions in advance because they know I need money to move, and it was exactly what I needed. So whatever I've needed has always come in a way, shape, or form. So I'm talking from experience, not from, I want to say, woo-woo college, something that I've heard or read or understood from others. I've lived it and still living it, living on faith and trust. And so, yes. So the card deck that I chose to draw cards from today is the Mermaids and Dolphins. And I love these Mermaids and Dolphins. And it's been raining so much, so we want wisdom to come up from the depths of the ocean. And the first card that I drew for all of us, so when I connected with the group energy, was accept heaven's help. You pray for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. And we don't always realize how we are in our way. Sometimes by our limited thinking, or thinking there's no way out, then we create no way out, and then we sit at no way out until we say to Spirit, okay, there's a way out. Show me. So it's not necessarily to believe the stories that we tell ourselves. It's like it's insurmountable, it's too big, we can't get out of this, or anything like this. Don't go there. Always have open-ended questions with Spirit. And I want to say, then get out of the way. And maybe sometimes it is that you are put to sleep when I do the meditations with you guys, so that you get out of the way, the ego gets out of the way, and the healing can happen at a deeper level, or consciousness and awareness can drop to a deeper level. So I'll read you the messages of the cards. It reminds me of Maria mentioning how apt the cards were. And after I listened to Lee Harris's October thing, it was exactly those cards. And he explained it in deeper levels. And I thought, aha. It's like we do get messages. And we are led to, I want to say, to the answers. We just need to start trusting, give those, see it as guidance, and I want to say let it be as lighthouses standing out and knowing, okay, we're heading in the right direction. We know how to navigate the waters, because we're all in deep water somewhere, in unfamiliar circumstances or territories, and we need this navigation. So, yes, I was amazed how spot on those were.
I think some of the mistakes we all make is we ask for heaven's help and then we say, please do it my way.
Yes. Yes.
And my way doesn't work.
No.
We all do that.
It's like, I had a client this week and she said, this guy, she's been in a relationship with him for 7 years. They've never moved in together or anything like this. He doesn't show a commitment of a day of. He reneged on all his empty promises and stuff, and she says now she's now very angry at God. I said, why are you angry at God? Now, I keep on praying that I get married, and this guy's not asking me to marry. I said, yes, and you know, you've known this for 7 years, and yet you still say, God, please, I want to get married, but let me just hold on to this one that's never going to do this, and never want to, and don't show commitment. Please, I'm going to hold on to this. But he said, yes, because if he's this almighty God, he needs to change this one to make him as I want him, and he must now ask me to marry him. Now, hashtag. Spirit doesn't change humans to suit your needs. No, it's not going to. It doesn't work that way. So it's sometimes to see the irony of the stuff. The way are we contradicting ourselves, saying we want this, but we're holding on to this security that's not security. On the relationships, either that's not working or job's not working, but I want this, but I'm holding on to this. It's like we have to start putting our money where our mouth is. So we have to follow through. It's like, okay, so show me the way. If this isn't, and this isn't bringing me joy, show me another way. Show me the answers, because it does come. But we can't do, as Beryl says, we can't prescribe upstairs and say, okay, but we now, in our limited vision of just 3D now, we can see this is the solution and it must just be fixed this way and our way. It never happens our way. Things that I'm going to say miracles to my answer in prayers have come in ways that I couldn't even dream of. Again, my thinking never stretched that far.
Mine too.
Sure. So it's to be aware, not to be in the way. So I'm going to read you the message of the card. Thanks. Maria also said yes. She was also about to suggest that people should watch the Lee Hathors October energy reading video. Quite a lot of what we've been saying today is covered there in his video chat. It's a great guidance about solutions for this now. Yes, thank you, Maria.
He's very good.
Yeah.
As on a whole.
Yeah. Okay. So the extended message of this card is, you've asked, what should I do next? This card responds, trust that your prayers have been heard and answered. Simply rest and retreat for now. After all, your prayers, you prayed for divine intervention. So step aside and let heaven intervene. This is the help you have prayed for. You can assist the process initiated by your prayers through quiet contemplation. Ask heaven to give you very clear, easily understandable guidance, letting you know if you need to take any action. In the meantime, enjoy knowing your angels and guides around you and your situation with loving care. Such a beautiful confirmation and affirmation for you guys. because we are never deserted, abandoned in our missions. And then I thought I'll draw another card so that we've got 2 cards to work with. And it's a beautiful card. It's a new dawn. It says, the worst is behind you now. We don't even always feel that way. Yeah, okay. But it's to know that it is, okay? And positive new experiences are on the horizon. And it's spring and summer is coming and the rain is, there's lots of nurturing energies out there. So good is coming. We're at the crossroads, yes. And a new dawn is in front of us. But it's to see it as that. Not to think that it's a replay of some torturous experiences that we've had. Don't go on it's like, I spoke to Beryl beforehand, and sometimes there's a trigger of, say, victimhood, of a trigger of this, or we see that, or we experience that, and we quickly run back to our filing cabinet and we draw out all those files that reminds us of how that feeling feels like. Oh, damn, we're back at that. Oh, how am I to respond? And we go with a set response of what we feel, what we think, what we go through when that happens. And it's to revisit that and say, okay, but I'm not that. I have power. We can change this. We're not doom and gloom. We did survive. We did eat. We did. It's like every aspect, you have to sort of call its bluff. And no, it's not like that. You have to change the way you perceive things and not have a default of whatever that triggers, because we all get triggered by something. It's to look there, because therein lies our salvation. Therein lies our liberation, our gift. If we can shift that, we can change a whole lot. So the extended meaning of this card is, you endured storms over rough seas. And I was saying we all in these seas. But now the way is clear and smooth. From here on in, you can expect the best. Wash away the negativity from your consciousness and past memories, and keep only the positive lessons and love. Don't hang on to anything that could weigh you down, such as resentment or bitterness. Let it all go. If you've gone through patterns of negativity in the past, this is a time to affirm, I now release the need to experience this life lesson. I now release the need to experience this life lesson. I attract whatever teachings I need to discover and move on to a life of harmonious and peaceful action. I extract whatever teachings I need to discover, and I move on to a life of harmonious and peaceful action. By pulling this card, you've turned a corner in your life, wherein your prayers and positive thoughts are delivering new rays of divine light to illuminate your present and your future.
I needed both those cards desperately.
Me too. You'd have to send us pictures of them and the little book, because there was lots in there that I need.
Yes, I will most definitely do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, it's to trust that, believe that, and it's always available. Alrighty, anybody else would like to add anything on that? So we are continuing, but this time with a new chapter from the Great Human Potential, Walking in One's Own Light. And today's the chapter that we're starting with is the absolute truth. Now, we would like to discuss the notion of absolute truth. One of the reasons that you find in these times are quite challenging has to do with the fact that you are looking for the absolute truth in your history and in your life in general. You want things to be pinned down and to put into a tiny little box. We are here to tell you that this is not going to happen in the way that most of you want it to happen. Why? Simply because truth is always colored by perspective. Everyone has his or her own perspective on what is transpired and what has transpired. This is not only caused by the filters of the individual, but also because of the constructs of each dimension. From where we are standing in the 9th dimension, we have a completely different perspective of what has transpired or what you are going through. The reason is because of where our consciousness resides. And one of the things in a previous relationship was, now I know the truth and this is the truth, and it's not like that, because somebody else's truth is not always your truth, because they're not either at your level or at your awareness or experiencing it from where you're experiencing it. And sometimes it is your truth, and sometimes your truth is also just blurred by your perspective. So when we're operating at lower vibrations, our truth is, say for instance, we are suffering and we're all alone and nothing is working, or whatever it is. That is our kind of stuff truth, and we believe it. Then we raise our consciousness and awareness, and we realize, okay, life is actually beautiful. We've got so much to be grateful for. And our truth is a different truth. It's not that one that we were when we were a low vibration. Then we raise our consciousness and awareness again, and we have a different vibration. And then we put energy, and then we're flying with all the angels and Peter Pan, and we're experiencing different things, and the magic and the wonder and awesomeness and adventure. And then something happens and we lower vibration, and our truth is again something else. So don't literally think your truth to be truthful. Remember, it's just a perspective. And if somebody else talks to you, it's not necessarily also the truth. It's just their perspective from where they are. And especially if they're at a low vibration, don't take it too much to heart, and definitely don't take it personally, and definitely don't take it as your truth. Just remember, there's different perspectives, and we can't convince others of our truth because it's our perspective of where we are now. And that's how also our truths change. It's like you believe this and you believe it with your whole heart, and you know this is to be true, and then you have this experience and you're like, oh, this is also true. This is a different truth. And then we can have sometimes epiphanies and realizations about the same point, but they go into a deeper level of our consciousness and awareness, and we then understand it from a higher dimension. And then it makes so much more sense. And then the same truth, when we're at a higher dimension, we access it again, and it becomes, but it's what you personally experience. And just know there's different realities and truths available to you. Just shift your perspective. Try and get a broader understanding, a broader picture, and see all the truths. And when you have a higher vantage point, things look totally different, your life, than when you're in it and you're at your lowest ebb. Yeah, you see just black, just the dark night of the soul. You see no answers, you see nothing. But when you raise your consciousness and awareness and you have a higher vantage point, your life circumstances looks totally different. And when you raise there, you suddenly, yeah, plenty of problems. Yeah, no problems. And It's like, which one do I believe? Do I have plenty problems or no problems? And although part of you believes that there's plenty problems, so there's a higher part of you that can solve every problem. As you connect to that, you can bring that down and you can solve all your problems. Because as that talk that I did on the source of all that is when we claim that and we start realizing that we have that power, we can find a solution to everything. But we can't at our current consciousness and awareness. Sometimes we need to raise it. And that is what these satsangs and meditations is all about, to raise the body.
It's like we take all these things and put them in a bag. And today I'll pull out a high vibration and I'll be flying. And tomorrow I've pulled out the marbles at the bottom. And they've got no color, they just down and out. And so yes, I've changed I've taken a new card.
Good for you. Good for you.
Taken a new card, seen what I've done, and we go from there.
Yes.
So I needed to come here.
Yes. Okay. We tell you that there are no places in your universe where you experience absolute truth except at source level. There you experience all the raw data from every experience that has ever been and will be. Take a breath. It's like one of the things that Lee Harris in his October update said was that there will be scrambles up here in the etheric, in the
higher realms.
The higher realms, there's going to be a scrambling and a shuffling of energies. And what Beryl said the other day, it's I think to Anita or something, where she was talking about load shedding or something, and then Beryl said, no, but the source doesn't have load shedding. And the analogy is to be plugged in with source, because then you get a live stream. The downloads are clear. The answers and solutions becomes clear, because there isn't a problem that has ever been created that is unsolvable. Doesn't matter in what circumstances you are. There's always been solutions for everything. We've created the solution before we've created the problem. And we create the problems for testing ourselves, God knows why.
we create the problems so that we can see the nothingness of them.
Yeah, and overcome them and realize how strong we are and how we get ourselves through it. We forget that we get ourselves through it. But it is when we get there quicker. I wonder when we surrender our will and let our will and the divine will become one will and see it for what it is. And as soon as we click into that power again, claiming that power, claiming that connection, claiming that whatever, then it comes to us. So as soon as you fracture from source, you begin to perceive through the individual and collective filters and the construct of the dimension into which you projected your consciousness. The other piece of you have to understand here is how the mind works. The mind wants things tidy. I'm laughing because life is everything but tidy. And holy camoly. Yeah. The operating system of the mind was set up to limit perspectives so that you could only see one vision of reality. Although there are multiple realities existing continuously, concurrently. again, this was the construct of the dimension so that you could immerse yourself in the now moment. It's when we are in the now moment that we connect to source. So the headache is trying to be too much in the head and trying to figure it out in the head, and it doesn't get figured out in the head. The mind, as they say, it's got limited solving abilities. It's like when we get out of our mind, and it's a creative work that gets out of our mind, or binge watching a series that gets out of our mind, or doing some gardening. Anything that you do that's sort of mundane that can get out of our mind, so that the source energy can come in, so that you can get the downloads, so that you can receive it from a higher mind, high level of consciousness and awareness. And that's why when we close our eyes and we go in, we find the answers, we find the pictures, the solutions, the things. Because we can't, with our eyes, we can only see a limit. Inside, we see unlimited. So, and the problem is you can't look for the solutions on the outside because it's never going to be on the outside. It's never going to be anywhere else. The solutions are when you close your eyes. Your perspective and choice to align with a particular now moment is altered by not being able to perceive your options as you can in all other dimensions. To be able to view reality from this level is unique to 3D, and believe it or not, a very exciting experience to have. Since time isn't linear, but rather a construct of dimensions, you experience now moments after now moments, and string them together to give you an illusion of linear time. What does that mean? What do you understand from that?
I get that you have to stop thinking, just the incessant thinking and trying to fix it has to stop. It just has to stop somehow. And obviously getting into that higher vibration is the only way to do it. Because sitting here in my current reality is not going to solve any problems. I've tried. So yeah, I get that I need to be doing more of that, just getting out of my head, and it's hard. It's hard.
Sorry, Nikki.
No.
If I may share something, been there, done that, where I have been in extreme poverty, not knowing where the next meal is coming from, selling clothes on the side of the road, just been so poor that your shoes have got holes in them. Sorry. And it took years and years before I realized that I had to let go of anything that no longer served me. And it no longer served me to be in poverty. And I had to let go of things that were really holding me back. And I wanted to sell my house, and I took it off the market because it was an irritation to me. So it no longer served me, and I took that off the market. I got rid of everything that no longer served me. And with that came in the abundance. And yes, we do get to stages where we take back the poverty thought, or I haven't got enough, or yes, you have got enough, because the universe supplies endlessly. Don't hold on to things that no longer serve you. if it no longer serves you to be poor, change your perspective and see the abundance coming in, because the universe is ever abundant. And even Moses going through the desert for 40 years, they didn't plant a single thing, but every day their need was met. They were fed for 40 years. And we have to know that our abundance doesn't have to come months or years in advance. It can come daily and by the minute. So just bear that in mind and try and get rid of the thoughts and the anger and the everything else that no longer serves you, because it doesn't serve you to be in fear all the time. As you say, trust, have faith. And as our card says, we have a new beginning and a new dawn.
Thank you.
Barbara, sorry, I can't.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Beryl said, 100%. Now, I just wanted to add something that came up for me when you were reading the first card. And it's a question of, asking for help. But when you ask for help, you don't always get it in the form that you're asking for it in, because it always comes in your highest good. So, I mean, you might be asking for something that Spirit decides is not going to be in your highest good. So it's a question of when it comes, recognize it and accept it as being in your highest good. That's what I wanted to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Yes.
When you were reading the last bit, or the first bit of the last bit, and you say, raise your vibrations. If something doesn't feel good, raise the vibrations. I had a vision of like a drone. So you are down on the ground, you're looking at a black spot. And as you go up above it and you raise your vibration, your vision, or the field of vision, becomes larger and larger. And you see the black spot is actually just this small. And whatever is around it is so much bigger. So the higher you raise yourself, the bigger you go, or the higher you go over your problems, the smaller they become. So yeah, I love that, raising your vibration. That's
Lovely analogy, Vanessa.
Yeah, I just, that's what I heard. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's wonderful.
Awesome, beautifully put. So I'm going to read this again because I want to explain it just a little bit more. So they say it, since time isn't linear, but rather a construct of dimensions, you experience now moment after now moment and string them together to give you an illusion of linear time. I want that just to sink in a little bit.
Can you say it again?
Yes. Since time isn't linear, but rather a construct of the dimension, you experience now moment after now moment and string them together to give you the illusion of linear time. For me, this is a big point. It says so much. It speaks volumes in this one line. So my take or perspective of this currently is, so read it tomorrow, it might be different. So hashtag, that's my fine print. Okay, my current perspective of this is, And it comes back to knowing who we really are. Because if it is where our perspective is, and so linear time means that there's a past, present, and future. Now moment is now moment. Now, okay? That all just depends on where we are focusing. Remember, it's all to do with our perspective. And our perspective can either be broad, higher, or focused and lower. It can be different levels. So, now we make, and our perspective is, or our perception is like this, and we take we link this now moment to this now moment's feeling, to this now moment's feeling, to this now moment's feelings, and this now moment's feelings, and then we construct it as, that was what I felt in the past, that was what I felt in the now, this is what I felt later on, okay? Yet, most of the feelings have got triggers to previous times that you felt that. So, the times that you feel destitute or abandoned or disappointed. Disappointed is a big thing. So, disappointed is energy. For me, I know disappointment. Today and in the past days, I realized, oh, my wounding has been that core disappointment in key figures, core figures in my life, okay? And that disappointment is just sort of seemingly to perpetuate, so I know I have to resolve this disappointment. Okay, so say for instance, we just take disappointment. So parents don't act the way they should, and they disappoint you because they don't love one another, or they get divorced, and then friends disappoint me, and then lovers disappoint you, and then your partners disappoint you, and then disappointment is just whatever. Then we think we are living a disappointing life because past, present, and future has been disappointment upon disappointment upon disappointment, and we string all these disappointments together, and we say our whole life has just been a disappointment. In our low vibration, that is how we feel. That is the way we think, because we just think a little bit linear, one perspective. It's just been a disappointment. What I get from this, it's not necessarily what it says, but the messages that I get with this is that we need to tap into source constantly in each moment. So, now you have a thought here. If the only words that resonate in your head for this week is know who you are, I'll be happy. Okay? Because all I want you to remember is know who you are. Okay, so we have now the same scenario. Okay? A disappointment happens here. But you know that you are one with the divine infinite source. And ultimately, you love and accept yourself just the way you are. And if this disappointing experience has come to you, it's to perceive it for what it is, but not attached to that. Get your vantage point again to everything happens for my highest good. I know I'm one with source, and source is not a disappointment. So disappointment is a lie. If source is the truth, then the disappointment must be a lie. Because source is definitely not a disappointment. And source is not disappointed in you, and you can't be disappointed in source, because then you have unrealistic expectations from a higher power. Okay, so if you change this, if you have a disappointment again, know who you are. Oh yes, disappointment is a lie. There's nothing to be disappointed of. I'm actually one with source. I'm actually part of the creator. I can resolve this. This is not my disappointment. The disappointment is a lie. It's a different vantage point. I'm not associating with it. I'm not holding this wound. I'm not dancing this dance with disappointment, because we don't do. Yes. So I'm going to say You cover them in stuff where they can't link to one another anymore. Say you cover them with the grace of God, whatever you call it, with white light, with golden light, with a bubble, and you have to start letting these things that are in our life, bringing our own truth, the real truth from source, the gifts and abilities and the answered prayers and all the positive stuff, all the seeds that's within us. It's to start more focusing on those ones and stringing them together than the other stories that we've been telling ourselves. Because if you're looking for problems and something happens and you say, oh my golly, what else can go wrong? Guess what's going to be attached to the string? Something else that goes wrong. And then, oh my golly, Wally, what else can go wrong? And then Spirit says, oh, you want more of that. And it's going to string more of that together. And then you're going to have that. Preferably, don't start that cycle. Come back to self and come back to what you know and believe in within yourself. But it's be aware of the now moments that you're feeling. When you put them together, you're going to create your reality and your story. And ask yourself, but is this true? So say, for instance, you say, oh, there's no way out. Then you ask yourself, is this true? Apparently not, but I still don't know how. Then you just ask, Spirit, please show me the how. Because the how is never for us to figure out. The how is for Spirit to figure out. So it's to always ask, okay, but show me the how. Because the how will be shown to us. We just need to follow the prompts. So to be aware of what illusions are we putting together, the now moments, that creates our linear time and then our story. And we do have the control over what are we stringing together? What are we holding on? And that's why Beryl kept on saying, release what no longer serves you. It's what you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're believing. Sometimes it's certain possessions. Sometimes we have to do certain sacrifices. For me to come down here, I had to sell furniture, I had to sell crystals, I had to sell books, whatever it took to be able to do that, what I needed to do. So sometimes we need to make certain sacrifices, but ultimately the reward is so much bigger. We get through stuff and we can buy stuff again. We can accumulate stuff again. It's, yeah.
But sometimes our thinking no longer serves us either.
Yes.
We have to drop what we're thinking and what we believe.
Yes.
Just something keeps coming to my mind is like, you know, your thought patterns and things like that. I was definitely, even like a year ago, I kept saying to my friends, no, I can't do this because I don't have money. No, I can't join you and go to the park or, I don't know, go to the restaurant because I don't have money. I can't go to the movies because I don't have money. I used to keep saying this, you know, every time someone asked me to do something, and I had the same thought pattern every single time. And I really had to dig deep and think, why am I going to stop saying that? It's just, you know, just those words were restricting me so badly. And as soon as I stopped that, things changed. It's amazing how just what you say and think is obviously affecting your life in a way. It's crazy.
Yes. It is. It is. And it's to become aware of where you are the source of that. Where you are the source of feeding yourself those lies. And that's why last week when I spoke to Beryl about my internet, I said, because it's the stories that we tell ourselves. So I signed a lease where it includes my water, it includes my lights, and it includes uncapped Wi-Fi. So my thinking was, oh, if it's uncapped Wi-Fi, I can do so much more in my business. I can roll out a lot more. And having had Wi-Fi problems now for a couple of weekends, I thought, but this is stifling my business, and it's now I can't do more than I thought that I could. So it's like I thought the landlord is not doing anything about it, and my pleas is falling on deaf ears, and I couldn't understand this. But what I told Beryl is in the meditation I got, but I can't be spinning any stories. I can't go to him and say, my business is suffering because you're not giving me Wi-Fi. Or I can't, because I'm paying you all this rent, I don't have money for extra Wi-Fi. And I thought, I can't go on this thinking way, on this trend of believing this, because it's going to become my story, and do I really want it to be my story? And the answer within me was no. I don't want this to become our reality. I'll claim back the responsibility. I'll claim back my power. I'll go within and I'll say, okay, so my business will do well enough so that if I need to buy extra data, Wi-Fi, I can. My business will not suffer as a consequence of this, because I didn't want to put this burden on my business. And sometimes, unbeknown to us, the thinking, as you said, it's like words that we say, if we keep on repeating it, and that's what we string together, that tends to be our reality. And it's not necessarily what we want our reality to be, because we ask Spirit or ask God for something else, but then by holding on to certain things, we create that again, and that's just not on. It's no good.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
It's very pertinent. It is my exact situation. When I put a call out the other day, I sent out SMS. Does anybody know of any work for me? Over the last few weeks, actually, I've had 2 people send me what could be jobs for me, but it's a full-on 9 to 5 in an office job. So now my confusion is that Spirit saying here's an answer, or am I seeing going that route out of fear? Bookkeeping is not my passion. It's something I've done all my life to pay the bills, and am I making a decision to look for a job out of fear, or is Spirit trying to guide me to a solution? I almost feel like it isn't my responsibility, this money situation. I have a job, it pays, it's never stopped paying for the last 20 something years that I've had it. So can you see where I'm at? What all these crazy thoughts that are going on? Is it my responsibility? Do I need to be the one to fix it? And the things that are coming to me, are they through Spirit, or is it me looking for something out of fear? Any thoughts that would help me clear this up?
Yes, I'm not a big fan of doing jobs that you don't enjoy doing, but you asked. You asked for, does anybody have a job for me? And 2 people answered. It might be temporary. You might need something or somebody at this new job that changes your life. Yes, and you can always change it. I mean, the job doesn't have to be permanent, but if it takes some of the stress away from you and maybe put some ease on your relationship, which I'm sensing is a bit.
It actually isn't, but I do hold a bit of resentment. Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, I just think if you ask for, does anybody have a job, and 2 people say yes, I think it's worth a try. You don't have to stay there for the rest of your life.
Yes, yes.
Just my opinion.
No, it's a refreshing thought, way to think about it. Thank you.
I also think it's like you asked for just some bookkeeping work to keep you occupied, doing 1 or 2 books or whatever. Now somebody's offering a job, so you're actually getting more than what you asked for. Because you asked for a small job, and then you got a real job. Okay. And it's like Vanessa says, it's You need something to see you over for the next few months because you don't know what's going to happen. Your problem is your resentment and you not wanting to carry this responsibility because you placed the responsibility in front of husband and said that's husband's responsibility always and I don't want this. But in life, sometimes there's a give and take and sometimes we have to do certain things to let the pot cook and do certain things. So if it is being offered, it most probably comes from where you've asked for. So it's to see it and say, okay, as Vanessa says, it's not permanent, it's not a forever, but you ask for money. They say, you can work here, get this money, and you can pay the stuff that you need to pay. When we have a definite in our head that expenses can only be covered and solved by husbands, then we limit the way things can come to us. We limit our abundance, we limit the flow of money, we limit the opportunities. And sometimes we need to pick up where others are, failing. So sometimes we need to do certain things because ultimately, if they weren't there, you in any case would have had to. If they no longer, you in any case have to feed yourself, see yourself through, pay for your stuff. You can't then still be angry and resentful and when they've gone to other places, meaning I've lost the kid's dad, so it's like I know that feeling. It's like when that isn't there anymore, you have to take care of yourself. And it might be something, a skill that you need to not learn, but it's like if somebody falls away, and touch wood, nothing will happen in your life, but things do happen eventually, some way. We don't all live forever. We need to be able to take care of ourselves, ultimately. And certain things teaches us, makes us stronger to sustain ourselves, regardless of the circumstances. And it's to hone in on the skills that, okay, I can make money through my art, from this, from my dad's cooking. I've got multiple streams. Yes, husband also needs to pick up and figure out what he's going to do and how money is going to come to him. And he will, okay? But it's like, what I'm constantly trying to say is we have to take responsibility for ourselves. And if there's a problem, what can we currently do to solve it? Not out of fear, not out of whatever, but it's like, okay, so I need to do this. So then do whatever it takes to solve it. See it for the gift that it is and not, oh my golly, well, run in the other direction.
Okay, thank you.
When there's two, sit with it and see which one feels more right for you. So when you go into meditation today, feel it.
Okay.
It's like when Nadine wanted another job. She also was given 2 opportunities. And the first one that she got this year was they could just give her a temporary job. She was just on contract and it was month to month and she didn't know if the next month she would have a job. But by September they've now put her full time. And now things are it's just in time for Christmas because at least she's a full-time employee and it makes a big difference if you're full-time employee or contract employee over December when there's a month of no work. So, but things have just been flowing, but just been interesting. So sometimes we never know what the next step of that is and what it brings. So see it for what it is, respond appropriately as you're called to on the inside, and let it solve the problems that it can solve in the current times. But don't feel a victim of it. Don't do it under resentment. It's to release. Why are you laughing, Vanessa?
No, I just, as usual, have something to say.
Yeah.
No, I'm just, Nikki, you are very, I understand that it's not creative, it's not what you want to do, it's not art. But you're so lucky that you actually have this extra skill
Yes,
to
I
do
know.
bookkeeping. I mean, if I couldn't do my job and I had to go do bookkeeping, I wouldn't. So, you know, it might not be the woo-woo skill and what brings you joy, but it's a skill that you have. And
Yeah.
we should use all our skills. Yeah. So be grateful that you can do it,
Sure.
even if
Thank
it's
you.
not fun.
Yes, I think we need to all change our attitudes to gratitude. And the moment you're grateful for it, it expands. As you were saying earlier, you never know what else comes up from that job.
Can I say something?
Yes,
I
please.
think I just think that we were talking earlier about perception, and maybe your perception of these two bookkeeping jobs is not great because it's not what you want to do, but change the lens, go there expecting for it to be everything you want it to be. Nice bunch of people, you know, challenging, interesting work and a good salary. And that's what you'll get. That's what I believe.
Well said, Barbara.
Thanks, everyone. I appreciate that. It's really helped me think of things in a different way. I'm going to send my CV right now.
Good. Excellent. Okay. So I'm just going to end off this chapter. So it says, in actuality, you are constantly moving between what you consider to be multiple timelines. Every now moment is built on an agreed upon set of circumstances that you deem your past, collectively and as an individual. You move from moment to moment by altering your frequency. This is done by changing your perspective of your past at the collective or the personal level, or by setting a new intention. Both alter your frequencies and align you with a different now moment. This is what accounts for varying stories in your history, your past, your future predictions. What your perspective, what you perceived as your truth yesterday may not be your truth tomorrow, and you alter your vibration and perspectives of reality, perceptions of reality. So what we would like to say to you, to assist you, is to move out of the operating system of the mind and into the heart. From the operating system of the heart, you can access multiple versions of reality all at once, allowing you to perceive multiple timelines and multiple truths. The heart is not to consume with absolute like the mind. And from that level, you will find peace with your current version of truth. So anybody else want to say what they are taking away from this?
Oh, no, I just wanted to say something to Nikki. The thing is, if you don't like this job, you can always leave. It's not something you have to do, you know. You can always walk away from it in a week, a month. But you got to change your mindset or your belief system before you start the job, because you're going to walk in wanting to leave. So you've got to change that belief. It's like living life is a lot of hard work, eh?
Yeah. There's some stuff that we like and there's some stuff that we don't like. And when we change our perspective, as Barbara said, if we change the lens and we look at it through different eyes, and we change our attitude towards it, then it becomes okay. I can do this. It's like when I was told that I need to go to Joburg for a while, it's like, okay, if it's for a short period of time, I don't like going there, but I will go there for a short period of time. But then I also realized, okay, now my time is up, so now I have enough now. And we can, at any stage, we can say enough now, okay, it served me, and I managed to see what I needed to see, I managed to do what I needed to do. We say when we start and we say what we've done, but it's to do it with the best attitude while we're in it. Just give our best, do our best. And our best is always good enough.
Yeah, it was hard for me. I mean, I was at home for 5 years while I had the kids not working. And for me to go back into that sort of environment was so hard to get my mind back into a working situation. And I found that I searched and searched and searched for the right job. And I thought I had one or two, and then that fell through. And then I ended up in a factory, which is the last place I wanted to be. I expected to be in a lovely corporate office, but this came along and this was what I was given, and I took it because it was the only thing that was really available at the time. But in a way, I haven't really enjoyed the work environment, but it's been enough to get me through. You know, I've had the money now to go and do the things I wanted to do with my children. So it's given me some opportunity, and I'm still there after 2 years now, I think. So, yeah, and I still think that there's something else better to come, but it's the situation I'm in at the moment, and I'm just going to work through it until I find that other thing. So it's given me those opportunities to do something that I couldn't really do before. So
yeah, I get that.
Yeah. You guys ready for meditation?
Yes.
Okay, so closing your eyes, breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. With each in-breath, taking in the consciousness and awareness that's available to you now. And with each out-breath, release all that no longer serves you, in order for you to be shining lighter and lighter, brighter and brighter. And just allow these tones, this vibration to go in, through and around your body as you just relax. Becoming more and more relaxed, more and more at ease, more and more at peace. I want you to visualize yourself now stepping into the most beautiful garden. Forest, paradise area, where you feel peace and harmony. I want you to take 3 slow, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth as you detach, release and let go of all that no longer serves you. Acclimatizing yourself to this beautiful nature setting. and the energies that reside here, the peace and the harmony, the total serenity. I want you to find the pathway and start following this pathway. Notice your surroundings, take it all in, absorb it. Until you get to the area. The spirit has been waiting for you. For you to sit and connect. Whatever has been problems in your life, concerns, worries, areas that you've been asking for solutions. I want you just to sit in your heart and receive the high levels of guidance, consciousness, awareness, and perspectives that is available to you in this now. Asking that you become aware of your answered prayers and how it shows up in your life. And wherever you are standing in your own way, become aware of that and take a step back and allow and accept. And just be open to all that you receive. So that you can actually see the new dawn that is in front of you. If you step through it, into it, and accept and allow it. I want you to connect with gratitude in your heart. Whatever is new in front of you. Courageously, with your head held high, standing in your full power, in your full splendor, in your full magnificence. Taking a conscious step forward in your life. Become aware of the patterns of the old, the belief systems, the experiences, and the stories that has been told to us, that we tell ourselves. Start following all those strings and where they've taken roots, and just pull them out and discard them in a way that you see fit with each of them today. Now everywhere. Where there's vacuums created by what you've released and cleared and let go of, I want you to fill each of those vacuums with light. Fill each of those spaces with higher levels of consciousness and awareness, with love, with purity, with gratitude. And allow a deep healing to take place. Raise your consciousness and awareness. As Vanessa spoke of the drone, and take your consciousness and awareness now higher and higher, higher and higher. Never re-look at all your perceived problems, worries, fears, stresses, anxieties, sleepless nights, and let it dissipate in your heart. As you see things differently, perceive it differently. Now, as you bring your consciousness and awareness, like from this higher vantage point of the drain, back down. Connect with your heart. And with your hand on your heart, I want you just to affirm the following. I give thanks for the known and unknown blessings already on its way. I give thanks for the known and unknown blessings already on its way. I give thanks for the known and unknown blessings already on its way. And just breathe it in deeply. Just asking Heaven now to give you very clear and easily understandable guidance, letting you know if you need to take any steps forward in action in your life. And also affirm, I now release the need to experience this life lesson. And now release the need to experience this life lesson. I now release the need to experience this life lesson. And breathe it all in. And affirm, I extract whatever teachings I need to discover, and I move on to a life of harmonious and peaceful actions. I extract whatever teachings I need to discover, and I move on to a life of harmonious and peaceful action. I extract whatever teachings I need to discover, and I move on to a life of harmonious and peaceful actions. And breathe it in. know that you have all the tools at your disposal stand in your power, stand in your magnificence, stand in your light. You are the answer that you've been looking for. You have it all. You are it all. And then gently come back to the sacred space, back into your body, back into this now. Rotate your hands, rotate your feet, stretch and make sure that you're properly back into your body. And when you are, you may open your eyes. Did you? So Beryl says, as I started, Jesus came in and sat with us, and he's been with us this whole time, and she's just been sobbing. So if you hear a sobbing voice or sobbing sounds, and don't know which one it is, it's just Beryl feeling just feeling overwhelmed by the emotions, because it's been quite a while since she's had this strong connection, and there's feelings that it comes with. Because sometimes we don't feel supported, or sometimes we feel isolated and alone, and then when we realize they are with us, it's overwhelming.
Carry on. I'm just filled with gratitude and amazement.
Okay, so anybody else would like to share what they experienced in meditation today?
Yeah, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Yes, I'm at a sort of stage in my life where I've finished one big project, which was getting Kate's house finalized, and there doesn't seem to be anything sort of in the future. It's almost like I reached the end of something, and I'm waiting for something else. And whatever it is, I got the message that whatever is coming, to see it as a blessing, whatever it is, and be grateful. And I am. I felt huge gratitude, and I felt very blessed and very great. That's what I wanted to say.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you, Barbara. Thanks for sharing that. Yes, we don't always, at that moment, we might not see it as a blessing, but with this precursor and the reminder to see it as a blessing, it's to see it. Because it's yeah, wonderful. It is to look forward to whatever is coming, and do our best. There's a new dawn for each of us, a new experience. But we mustn't take any of the old programming or old way of doing or old way of thinking or old way of responding in that. Wonderful. Anybody else would like to share what they got from the meditation?
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
For me, it was a very powerful meditation. I also, as I was sitting on some rocks by some water, just experienced the presence of the Master Jesus next to me as well, Beryl. So we seem to be visited at the same time, and I had a sensation of, I had pictures of people who've been in my life who have contributed to some of the difficult experiences and the difficult lessons learned. And I had a sense of just almost like a weed being pulled out. So as the person's image came to my mind and their name, I felt a sort of a weed being pulled from that connection. And it very swiftly went through. I wasn't mentally thinking about it. The images were coming quite fast, one person after the next. And the last image was almost shocking. It really took me by surprise. It was me, my head, as I was sitting there, having a massive weed pulled out of my brain upwards. And just after that, you said, and fill the void, any voids created with love and light. The timing was perfect because I was actually so stunned that the biggest weed was the ones in my mind, that my own thoughts and my perspectives of those experiences actually aren't serving me. And those, as those came out, you provided the solution of now fill them with love. And I just had all these pretty colors and images and sort of symbols just flooding my brain and filling up the spaces that those sort of roots had taken up. So yeah, it was a very, very powerful meditation for me. Thank you. It was quite remarkable. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
You know, when you said put your hand on your heart for the blessing and be grateful for the blessings that are on their way. Be grateful for the blessings we already have.
Yes.
As well. That came to me in the. We have already, I had already received the blessings. Yeah. One is that I can communicate, and then I forget that I'm not alone. I just, oh, poor me. And they remind me that I don't walk alone.
Yes. Yes. The illusion of our aloneness is sometimes very real.
Oh, absolutely.
We believe the illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is an illusion.
Anybody else would like to share anything that they got from meditation? No. Okay. Well, thank you for joining.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just what I also got during the meditation was actually before the meditation we were talking about asking for what we want and the spirit deciding whether it's in our highest good or not, or for our highest good. And then it occurred to me during the meditation that we should never close the door. Because if it doesn't happen, we have to accept that it isn't for our highest good at that time, but don't close the door because everything is circular and it could come around again and the door needs to be open to let it in. That came to me during the meditation.
Thank you, Barbara.
If it makes any sense.
Yes, it makes sense, and I'll take that message.
Yeah. Don't let's derail the train.
I haven't closed that door. So yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, then I bid you the most magical week. Sit in the beautiful energy that's provided today and know that Master Jesus is walking with you and listening. But it's for us now to listen. To listen to the guidance that's there. Every step of the way we are guided. But for now, just sit with that love, with that knowing that everything's going to work out exactly as it should. Everything is taken care of. And we must just follow the prompts. And one thing will lead to another. And yeah, expect the unexpected.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Fiona.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.